required? Because the skill set required are changing with each and every day. Earlier, so what I am trying to do is try to combine history with past experience, with present experience, and try to predict for the future. So when it comes to skill sets for the future, what is required, as I said, I don't know. Because I don't know what tomorrow will be. And how to manage tomorrow is the skill set that we require. And what will happen tomorrow, we don't know. This is where what I teach strategic management. This is where the importance of strategic management comes in. Now, earlier, IT was confined to purely computer science students. Today, a 4-year-old child is much better than in IT than a computer science graduate of 20 years ago. Because IT has become an integral part of the requirements of a person. Similarly, strategic management has also become an integral part of a person's requirements. But unfortunately, that recognition is not coming, and I'm pretty certain that in coming years it will happen. So, what is this? What we are talking about? Strategic management is basically strategic management is all about managing change. How to manage change? One of the biggest follies of airlines is that we think we can cope with it. But the reality is that change is a phenomenon which is much, much bigger than what we can do. And how to manage that change? You can never oppose change. You can never oppose change. You can try to manage change. Try to adapt yourself to the change. And make sure that you have the right mindset and the ability to develop skills which will manage this particular change. See, unfortunately, Kerala has a very bad history of management. Like when tractors came in, we opposed them. When computers came in, we destroyed offices which used computers. Now when IT has come again, we are trying to oppose them. Now you say, we are trying to oppose globalization. Globalization, you cannot oppose globalization. Globalization is a phenomenon which is happening. But it's a tremendous opportunity for the youngsters. Globalization is a tremendous opportunity for youngsters. But we, instead of trying to utilize that opportunity, we are trying to oppose it. Foreign investors are coming into, why are we not allowing foreign investors to come to Kerala? Are we inferior to the foreigners? No. You ask IT people, my daughter is in the IT field, ask her, how are your bosses? It's a reality. It is not a joke or it's not a statement made out of content, but it's a reality. As far as IT and IT people are concerned, the whole world today knows that Indians are far superior. So globalization has become a big opportunity. The best jobs in most of the Western capitals today in the IT sector are Indians, and many of them are Malayalis. So these are opportunities which is happening because of the change. But if you try to oppose change, it's not going to happen. Now today you need the best education in the world. So you need the best universities coming in. So you need to have these universities have their offices here in Kerala. And it's an opportunity for us in Kerala to prove to these universities that we are, if not as good as you, we are better than you. And this is happening all over. Now, before I go into what change is happening, let me just give you go back into history and tell you and try to impress upon you what is happening. You know the first major invention in the world was the wheel, and it was made of wood. For 2,500 years, there was no change to the wheel. The first change was putting an iron rim around the wheel. It took 2,500 years to do that. Now, if you look at subsequently, the first major change in human civilization came when they started living together as a community. distribution of labor, and they started living as a society. So communal behavior became very important for us. Not again, Kerala, the moment you say communal, you go to the religious side. What I say is, when you say communal behavior, the behavior required to live in society, where you cooperate with each other to raise your standards to different higher. The first major change came when man decided to settle down in one place and practice agriculture. And agriculture was practiced, say, in the 14th or 15th century. Your great-grandfather used to do agriculture in particular way. Your grandfather also did it in the same way. Your father also did it in the same way. You also would do it the same way. So would your children. That means there was no change happening at all. So there is no need to change. The next major change came with the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution led to products being manufactured very fast, very quick. Clothes which are affordable only by the kings and the nobles, they started getting afforded by the an handloom cloth which used to take 7 days, in a machine it could be done in 10 days. Not 10 days, if you ask me. So what happened during this case is that life suddenly started changing and changing very, very fast. The Industrial Revolution ensured that products became available, all the developments which came, transportation, production, everything changed. The next major change came with the IT revolution, which started in the 60s. Anybody of you heard of Moore's Law? Moore's Law. Graham Moore came up with a proposition which he said that computing power, again this is a sad part that you should learn from history. You should know your past, because that helps you in learning about the future. What will happen tomorrow? There is a lot of lessons to be learned in the past and a lot of lessons to be learned from the future, from the present also. So Intel he was one of the founders of Graham Moore was one of the founders of Intel, and he said that computing power will double every 18 months. And he expected that this proposition will last for about 7 or 8 years. Even after 30, 40 years after that, even today we find that computing power is doubling every 18 months. Which means in 18 months' time, you have a processor which has double the capacity, which means most of the equipment or facilities that you have becomes obsolete. I got, for my first connection here in Thrissur, telephone connection, I waited for 7 years to get the connection. And I used the same telephone for about 10 years without any change. Today you tell if your youngster or my daughter comes and says that my phone is outdated, I will say, I used the same phone for 15 years, 12 years, and now the phone you got 2 years back, you say you want to change it. I would say it's a ridiculous proposition. But what is the reality? Reality is that that phone is actually outdated. It has to be changed because the new one has got so much more facilities. So as a parent, it's imperative for me to realize that times have changed. What your children are asking for is not irrational, but very, very logical and very, very essential. This is the change that is happening. I've just taken one example. You can take umpteen number of examples where what you think you know, what you expect tomorrow to be, everything is radically different. But you have to manage that change. And this is the skill set which you require. How to manage change. What is the mindset required to manage change? I cannot say that, for example, all my banking today is done on the internet. 10 years back, none of my banking activities were on the internet. But in today's world, I require it. I need to learn the skill set. I cannot say I'm close to 65 or 70 and I can't learn it beyond me. No. I have to have that mindset. So today when there was a time, actually when I was, I studied in IIT Madras and we had a crazy professor who used to give us a lot of assignments and some of them required computer iteration. So when he gave the problem to us, we said, sir, nobody has taught us programming, we don't know. He said, that's your problem, not mine. So you better go to the computer center and learn those languages. You know how many students, you never stop at that. We had to learn the language, so we overdid it. Overdid it, we became very good at, all sorts of nonsense, doing all sorts of nonsense, you can call it. But we developed our skill sets. So when I went to IIM, IIM is not a purely engineering institution. So there was a program which the professor wrote in about 10 lines. So I said, I just got up and said, sir, we need only 4 lines of this. What is it? I gave those 4 lines. Okay. And then we said, we run it. We ran it and it worked. Then he told me, you shall not come to the class at all. You will stay in the hostel and help all those students who do not know programming and make sure that they pass. If I see your face in the classroom, you will fail. This was the state of mind in Calcutta in 67. Then the PC was discovered in 1980. DOS came DOS came in 91. And I wanted to computerize my office. In those days, there was nobody here in Thrissur who was using computers. So I decided to develop, I had no choice but to develop my own software. But I didn't know DOS. No purpose what was done by basic language and things. I actually got hold of an 8th standard student and told him he's using DOS. So a person who was kicked out of the class saying that he knew too much in 77 becomes irrelevant, he becomes a ignorant fellow in 81. This is what we want. I learned with basic from him and then developed my programs, and even till the last days of the company, we were using that program to generate the basic data. Then we used to transfer it to Excel and all those things for analysis purposes. But why I'm giving you this example is that even today when I see him, I say Guru Namaste. He was an 8th standard student when I first got introduced to him. But what I'm trying to say is, this is how you become irrelevant if you can't manage or adapt to change. And what is required is this adaptation to change. What is this change? What is going to happen? We just don't know. Now AI is coming. What will be its impact? I don't know. AI is not coming in. AI is coming in slowly. It's another fact which has been created. That AI is coming in. AI has been there all along. If you look at Google searches, Google search cannot do a search like this without AI, which they have been doing so efficiently for the past many years. And it's up to you to decide how to utilize this, how to see these changes. And this strategic management, or what the most, in my opinion, the most important skill set it requires is how to manage change. What will tomorrow be like? Am I prepared to adapt myself to the requirements of tomorrow? Let me assure you, in my batch at IIT, some people went into research, some people went into teaching, some people have gone into industry, some people have gone into NGOs. And what has got to do with engineering? Nothing. I was trained to be a chemical engineer, but my industry was totally mechanical. And people ask me, how did you manage that? See, I had to become a chemical engineer, I had to become an electrical engineer, I had to become a metallurgical engineer because we had electro training going on. Then we had to learn instrumentation because we had a lot of instruments for monitoring the various equipment. So I had to learn all these subjects. Though I could not say that, I was trained to be a chemical engineer, I will stick to chemical. What to do tomorrow? We will get it. But then, what was the skill sets? Why is it that if you take any of these fields, wherever they go, the IITs have done extremely well. Why? Because of the kind of skill set which was, the mindset which was created when we studied that. One was, there is no shortcut in success. If anybody thinks he's smart enough to be excellent without hard work, he's living in a fool's paradise. Second thing is that learning never stops. Learning never stops, and you have to continuously learn and update yourself and keep abreast of what is happening. Then it is the mindset. One unfortunate development again in Kerala is that we have lost our ethics. And we think a person who cheats is a very smart fellow. Let me tell you, values all over the world, whether in any religion, any community, any continent, the basic ethical values hold is very important. And if you have the basic ethical values, you will do well in future your life. You will have difficulties, yes. But that mindset that I have to be ethical, I have to be truthful, I have to stick to the good values, that will take you around 12 years. And I'm in industry in Kerala for more than 40 years. I still get a very good mindset. Because I'm sure there is nobody who can come up with a prosecution notice or a person for me. All my returns are accepted immediately. Of course, you have to pay the price for it. Sometimes you can't grow. You have to close it down at a certain result. But then, if you have stuck to your values, which I would like to point out again, which are universal in nature, which never change with time, which never change with people, never change with continents, never change with society. These are universal values, which you have to accept. You will hardly find an advocate who has been prosecuted for any criminal act. That's because the value system we maintain there was that. Also, how to put in the hard work, how to set your standards. Always the best. You always set for yourself the standards which is best. You have to work very, very hard. You have to work very, very hard. But that's the skill set required is just that. I have taken the time and one of my jobs is gardening. Some days at 9 o'clock in the morning I start, and in the hot sun, you will see something, you can see the watch is color difference. Because I am working in the hot sun. And then I do it at sometimes till the work I've taken that is over. Sometimes I get home at 12 o'clock, sometimes I can get home only by 5. Then my wife asks me, see, I said, this is my passion, and I will do everything required to make sure that the garden is looking well. So this is the kind of commitment and the attitude you should create, which sees you through life. And this is the skill set required. Whatever I do, I will put in my best. Whatever I do, it will be the best to do. And today, let me tell you, standards are not best in Thrissur and best in Kerala. Standards are you best in the whole world. So, I will try to keep my presentation short and I'll give more time for questions. But as I said, this is a very broad topic and I'd like to address the concerns of the students. The second most important point, which I'd like to focus on is that most Keralites don't have belief in themselves. They don't believe that they are good. They don't believe that they can be the best. And immediately, as soon as somebody does start doing well, then if you do well, immediately you will be called a purpose. For example, in PC Thomas, a purpose, a pulley is a person who does not study much. And Mandan is a person who studies from morning to evening. Finally, the Mandan will get into IIT and then you go up the ladder. The Puri will remain in the streets of Thrissur. That's because we did not realize that we are good. See, when it comes to foreign competition, companies coming from outside Kerala, or whether it's universities coming from Thrissur, or anybody coming from outside, immediately we are told that no, we must oppose all this foreign direct investment, foreign business, foreign business. Who are they? Foreigners like us. And it's very, very unfortunate that the Britishers in the 200 years convinced us that we are good for nothing, we cannot manage ourselves, and the Britishers know what is best for us. Which means, in other words, in those days, the Britishers and the government knows what is best for you, you follow whatever the government. 70 years after independence, what we see is that, even today we feel government should be. What is this government? You know what's the state of the Kerala government? It's complete collapse. Whereas the Indian people are capable of so much more than what it is possible. I don't know how many of you have been to Bangalore airport in the last 1 or 2 months. The new terminal is just amazing. Amazing means amazing. So the best airport terminal is supposed to be Changi in Singapore. I can say with 100% confidence that there is simply no match to the Bangalore new terminal. The scale of thinking, the level of thinking, the type of architecture, the magnitude in which it's done is something which we cannot think of. I cannot. But that's India. And I will put, just before I conclude, I put it very clearly that the rise of India has just started. What we are seeing in Kerala is not what is happening in India. And this momentum has already started getting momentum, and Indians have started believing in themselves. Today, when you go to have your tea, you don't go for pizzas and bun and cake and this one. You go for sweets, you go for unyappa, you go for vada, because we are rediscovering our cuisine. We are rediscovering that Indian cuisine is very, very unique. Indian taste is also very, very unique, and it's not like the stinking bread which you get otherwise. So this also means that our belief in ourselves has gone up. Our belief that we can do the best has gone up. And our belief that we must get the best. See, the difference between your generation and my generation is, I used to believe that, we just cannot compete with the best. Your generation believes that, many of your generation believe that they are much better than the Western people. And so it's time for us to be the leaders. And this change has come. Question is, have you trained yourself to be one of the best? Have you trained yourself to get to the best places in the whole world? Are you better than the best in the world? And just concluded with a small personal example, because I believe that there must be personal examples. My elder daughter has done architecture, and when she was studying, I used to tell her, I don't want you to be known as Alex P. George's daughter. I want to be known as Anisha's daughter. Second thing is that I have a lot of influence here. I can get your admission in umpteen number of colleges, but nobody will respect you, even if you get it up there. You must get into a place where people, the moment they say you studied there, you are a great person. And for that, you have to have hard work, focus, and log. Sorry to be using that word. Sorry, you must log your hands off. And in the All India Engineering Entrance Exam for Architecture, 1.5 lakh people, she got it to the School of Planning and Architecture in Delhi, and personally best in the country. And then when it came to post-graduation, I asked her, where do you plan to do your post-graduation? She said, I have chosen the two best in UK, the two best in US, and the best in Australia. I said, where else? She said, I said, well, ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമുക്ക് we'll try the next later on. Then the next statement really surprised me. We Indians are the best. So if a university does not take the Indians, they are the losers, not the Indians. It's in the mindset. And to cut a long story short, she got into the university that is supposed to be number one in the whole world, or UCL, University College London, where architecture was taught as a subject for the first time in the whole world. It's a Bartlett School. Its name was Bartlett. So this is known as the Bartlett School of Built Environment. And the QS World Rankings puts UCL as number one, MIT as number two, and Delft University in UK as in Netherlands as number three. And she did the toughest course there, called Denmark in Architecture under the Avatar program. So I'm giving this not to boast myself, but make it aware that these are the opportunities which are available for you. These are the levels to which you can reach. And when you look at, if you go to universities in Europe, whether it's Delft or whether it is Paris or whether it is UK or Thrissur, the best students are from India. And also I know many students from Kerala who are supposed to be laggards here, but today they are up the universities. I know of a doctor here. He used to say, think his daughter is, just somehow passing the kind of. She went to Delft University for a master's, and she was number one in the university. And I used to, push him. I used to tell him, don't send her to the best places, send her, make her work for it. And then he came and he used to come, now he comes and tells. I never knew my daughter was such a genius. That means, look at the other side of it. That means you who are sitting here can compete with the best in the world and still be, and these are the opportunities which are available because of globalization. Today, when US universities, they look into how many Indian students are there, how many Chinese students are there. If India plus China does not come close to 50%, which means your university is not good enough. This is the attitude, and this is the conclusion of many US universities. As I said, I can go on and on and on, but I would like to conclude because I would like to interact with you. I've been given only 1 hour. I've taken half an hour. Then minimum half an hour more I can take. Much more than that becomes entirely. The floor is open for questions.
So you just mentioned that you have to train yourself. How can I train myself? Just mentioned that
it's a mindset. See, it's a mindset. Let me give you again an example. See, as you know, I was engineering background. I was running my own industry. I had absolutely no idea of banking. But we started Small Finance Bank. When they wanted a director, they felt that he has exposure in industries. So let us take him as the director. I got the loan from RBI and I became the director. And those risk management is the most important function in a bank, how to manage the risk. And I was chairman of the risk management committee. I immediately called our chief risk officer of the bank itself and told me to give me the funds. So then I used to clear my doubts with it. Then subsequently I started reading more and more, finding more and more. And when I finally finished my term, one of the directors who was chairman of South Indian Bank, and many of the other directors asked me, are you sure you never had an exposure to that? This is my first exposure to that. But you were conducting it in a manner which was very, very professional and which was seen to be a person who has been in risk management all his life. This comes from the attitude. Because the moment I was made the chairman of the risk management committee, I am a zero. But I can't be a zero. I can't. So I worked very hard. I found out what is happening. I got the basic norms for the banks. And then, fortunately, one of our chairman subsequently came as chairman. He's on the IMF committee for risk management in banks and represents India there. He was from the Reserve Bank of India. So even those finer doubts, I should immediately ask him and say, ask what is this, how is this done, why is it this, why is it not that, what is this? And he was an expert, he used to know, he used to give me this. So first and foremost, recognition by myself that I don't know. Two, that I must take help from people who are good. One of the other lessons which we learned in IIT was, see, we used to come there, many of the IITs who come. They were first in class, kindergarten, first to go up from class 1 to class 10, pre-degree, first in the state, then SSLC first in the state, pre-degree first in the state. They come to IIT, first exam, they are possibly the last in the class. Because everybody else is in there. So the first lesson we learned is that you may be the top everywhere, but there is somebody who is better than you. And your neighbor who is in the hostel, you may be better than him in some aspects, but there, in some other aspects, is much better than you. So what you do is, you team up with him and learn what he is good at and improve your skills. We had a concept called study class. Study class we used to call it, nowadays in memories, we used to call it some class. Okay. So idea will see, especially you have so many subjects. And for example, if you look at the one subject, one book, and 1/3 of the exam of the book used to come for periodic exams. So within 1/3 of the book has to be finished in 2 days time. How will you do it? This can't do it. So what you do is, we give proportions to each person. You study this and take a class for the whole batch. You study this and take a class for this batch, for the batch. So portions are assigned. And then the hostel notice board, there will be a board which says, class on this at 7 p.m. in this particular hall. This class at 9 p.m. in this particular hall. And so suppose I am given a subject, I will study that well and prepare a short condensed course, which I will give to the rest of the batch. And the idea was cooperate and go forward. Because when I take a class for somebody for this class, I cannot give all that I learned in that class. So definitely I will know much more than the rest of the lot. But because of this, my other batchmates know more about that particular subject. And this is how we have built our reputation. Companies come to IIM, they ask all sorts of questions for the interview. We get the answers. Because somebody has taken again, it's not coming to the mind, a short condensed course for us in the hostel rooms. So this is how it happens. You have to recognize that you don't know. You have to recognize that if you don't know, you must make the effort. And if you want to make the effort, take the help of people who are good. Accept the fact that you need to get help. And take the best help. I hope I have answered your question. The next question. Yes.
Presently, our nation is mostly promoting entrepreneurship and introducing many their citizens to invest in the market. So, as an entrepreneur, I would like to hear the basic challenges, because there are many unsuccessful stories which are more than the successful stories. So I would like to hear a few challenges which.
Yeah. See, I used to teach entrepreneurship at Calcutta. And let me try to remove some ideas people have. Startup success ratio is about really less than 1%. startup success ratio is less than 5%. So only if you are willing to struggle and research, startup will work. In Kerala, there is a feeling that if I come with a startup, I need not come on time. I don't have anybody to boss over me. It's a very, very happy, independent life. It's exactly the opposite. It's exactly the opposite. And people feel that if you get your startup, you will have plenty of money. The reality is that a good entrepreneur will never spend money for himself. Whatever money he pays, he'll put it back into the company. For his personal needs, he just won't spend it. Because he will look, am I getting value for the money that I spend? So he will go for the cheapest option, not go for the highest option. So all these are misnomers which have happened. Unfortunately, the media promotes. See, the media likes to give you a land of money and this one, but actually it's not that way. So entrepreneurship is something which has to be taken very seriously, and only if you are willing to put in 10 years of your life for hard work, so that your company reaches a particular level, better not going. Don't get misled into people who are giving you dreams. These are dreams, don't fall for it. But does it mean you cannot be an entrepreneur? Again, I tell you, the world has a number of opportunities. And the world has changed so dramatically. Earlier, to be a king, you have to be a son of a king. Today, to be a king, you can be anyone. I don't know if you know, a son of a Kenyan cook became the president of the most powerful country of the world. Do you know who it is? Barack Obama. His father was a cook in the Kenyan army, but he became the president of the country. A person who was going saying chai, 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 chai on a railway station, today is the Prime Minister of this country and one of the most respected people in the whole world. Today Modi is not an Indian leader, he is a world leader. But he was selling tea on the tea platform. What does it show? India is a great country. That even if you are a son of if you are selling tea on this, it gives you the opportunity to occupy the highest post. It's similar with other opportunities also. Just because you are from a poor background, it doesn't mean that your dreams should be poor. Your dreams can be the highest. But you must be reasonable and you must take it along. If tomorrow itself you want to be at the topmost, it's not going to happen. It takes its own time. But dream well, dream realistic, but dream big. Hope I answered the question. Next question, please.
Can you provide some guidelines for entering a good company or for starting a startup?
See, this is where the problem comes. This is where your problem of managing change comes. You have to find the solution yourself. I will not give it to you on a platter and say this is what you do. What is meant by a good company is also a question mark. What is meant by a good job is also a question mark. So you have to know what makes you happy. What's the kind of job you want? What's the kind of environment you want? And if people think, just because you got a 1 crore package, your job will be happy? No. And that's another thing which I want to tell you. Do what your mind says. Work in the field that your mind says. If you are doing something, you have worked for a long time, then when you look at the watch, it's only 20 minutes gone. Which means you are doing something which your mind does not want. Your heart does not want. You are doing something, you have been working for only about 10 minutes, look at the watch, you see 2 hours is gone. You did not realize. The 2 hours is gone. You thought you were working only for 10 minutes. The stress level has been so good. Which means you are working on a place where your mind and heart is. And work where your mind and heart is. Because that is the thing which will give you satisfaction, not money won't give you satisfaction. Next question.
So for a person to be a good manager, definitely requires a depth ready for a fast pace. Fast pace ready for a reading a multiple depth.
Understand. Okay. We always say in IT, get your fundas right. Your fundas are right, everything will work out. Or you can work out the next time. It's not how much you read, or where the speed at which you read. Have you understood, especially in engineering, get your fundas right. There are so many times when I said, this is wrong, cannot be right. They asked me, how do you do it? I said, no, fundas says that, cannot do this. So if you have understood your fundas, and even when I say managing change, you should have the fundas about what you want, what your mind wants, what really are you looking for. Because each individual is a total, sum total of multiple experiences. I am not the same as you, he is not the same as you. Each person has his likes and dislikes. So first and foremost, a person has to know what he wants. Now I said how to manage change is first you understand the environment. You understand yourself. What do you want? What gives you pleasure? And then you understand the environment. What the environment can provide you with. And then decide how to do. Then take the positives, what we call SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So you have to attain your objectives, your personal objectives in the external environment where you have to utilize your strengths, overcome your threats, and utilize the opportunity to exploit the opportunities. And that is how you evolve. So that is how you manage change. So first, most important is know what you want. My mother said, my father said, my this said, my brother said, it's a very wrong attitude. It is, I want to be this, I will be that. So first, understand yourself, understand the environment, understand what are your strengths you have, you understand the weaknesses you have. You must make a strong analysis of your weakness. Because every person who has a strength has a weakness also. But that weakness has to be covered by taking help from others. Your opportunities have to be utilized. And especially in a globalized environment, opportunities are innumerable. But there are threats also. So you have to look at the threats, look at the opportunities, exploit the opportunities, and stick to the basic formula that there is no shortcut to success other than hard work. Next question, please.
Sir,
Yeah.
so you talked about how you talked in IIMs and about personalities who became successful, even though they do not have any background in business schools or these type of IIMs. So is a business school degree worth it? Or
Now, if you look at most of the entrepreneurs who have been big successes and never been in business. Okay. Now I would put it very simply that if you have the ability and capabilities, and if you have a business degree from school or a degree from a business school, you will be better than what you were otherwise. It doesn't mean that a person without a degree won't be good enough. He can be good enough, much better than you also. But the same person with additional qualifications will definitely be better than what would have been without. So again, there is a time for you to empower yourself. As students, this is a time for you to empower yourself. Empower yourself with the best degrees, the best exposure, so that the best opportunities are available for you and you can choose. So I hope I have answered this. Next question, please. So this is another problem with career students. You get a person like me to address it, and there are no questions coming.
Sir, as while doing the fasteners business, what was your major challenges and
I had to learn mechanical engineering. I had to learn electrical engineering. Chemical engineering was almost zero there. That's a challenge. See, it happens as a challenge. See, as I said, you must utilize opportunities to grow yourself. And the difference between, say, what is the difference between IIM and ordinary colleges is the attitude of the students. See, as I said, I should take this course called Entrepreneurship and Event Generation. I should leave my factory at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I should reach Gold Road at around 6 o'clock. I start my class at 7 o'clock in the night. We take lunch, a dinner break at 9, and at 10 o'clock we start the class, and it goes on for another class. Now next time early morning, I start the class at 7 and take the class till about 11, 12. Go to Calcutta, go to Calcutta, have a good biryani, and right back to Thrissur. So the question is, you imagine this student, he starts listening to me at 7 o'clock in the evening and goes on till about 11:30. And next time morning when he opens it, the same fellow, the same subject, the same wisdom. Isn't it torture? Actually, it's torture. But the IIM students were asked, see, we can get you the people who are the best in the world, but they will impose their own conditions. Or we can get you some people from Gold Coast who will come at the normal hours of 9 o'clock and take classes till take 1 hour class, 1 hour class and go. These people said, if somebody comes from Gold Coast, we will end up teaching him rather than we teaching us. So, we would prefer, we want to add value to ourselves. So get the people best in the world. There was a professor from Western Australia. It's a 30-hour course. He comes on a Friday, takes 10 hours. Saturday, 10 hours. Sunday, 10 hours. 30-hour course completed, leaves back to Australia. If you ask me, is it torture? The answer is yes. But they want value. There have been days when, I've been taking class for 4 hours, it's 11 o'clock, they keep on asking questions. Why? They say they feel that, they've got a bakra, let's make full use of it. They keep asking questions. Finally, there's a time when it's about 12:30 in the night. And I tell them, see, you are youngsters, you can manage your sleep. And I told, I can go back to my room, sleep, come back, and take class again, etc. Keep it out there. See, the attitude is the difference. The attitude is the difference. And if something similar happens in Kerala, I'm sure the media will say, blah 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 blah, the whole thing will come. Again, it's said that and way you look at it. See, I used to, as I said, learning was my passion. And I used to learn, I had an industry, I used to have all these things. So what I used to do is that 7 o'clock in the night, I'll switch on the garden lights and use my lawnmower to work. 7 o'clock in the night or 8 o'clock in the night, I switch on the lights, garden lights. So this is, again, an attitude. I don't gain any financial benefit by having a lawn. Other than the fact that nowadays I really enjoy it. Because I go for a morning walk, come back, then decide on what sort of tea or coffee to have. I have about 10 different types of coffee and 4 or 5 different types of tea. So choosing that what to have is the biggest dilemma for the day. I make a coffee and then drink coffee and do my reading before the stock market is open. So I take about 1.5 hours to drink my coffee, watching the lawn, the grass on the sun, and the water droplets on the grass. True heaven is a place I realize it. Any other questions?
So you started your training taking the best academic background course, and then you little passion probably to pursue your other passions.
No, not earlier. Look at 65. Somehow your work was only well in 5 enjoy you to take care. Enjoy
Yes,
yourself.
sir, you were mentioning that it was in a good Calcutta. When we had a talk, we said,
60 I felt it was a bit too early. 65 I felt enough is enough. I've already made enough and more. Yeah.
So
Your
looking back,
question.
do you think that you started your entrepreneurship at the age of 23, right?
Yeah.
So you feel like if you had worked within another organization for some more, right, it would have helped your.
See, there's nothing called the right answer or the right answer. See, very frankly, after so many years, if people ask me, are you satisfied as an entrepreneur? I divide that question into two parts. I've enjoyed entrepreneurship. I've enjoyed the fact that I was independent. I enjoyed the fact that I have my own company as creating my business. But Kerala was a huge blunder, huge mistake. But then you have to take everything in your stride. So what I did was I decided that how to take life forward. That is when I thought I should diversify my interests, not just industry alone, because Kerala industry was industry. But then I made a success of it. I ran it for 40 years, but that's a different story. But this is the thing. So what you do is how to diversify, or how to make sure that some of the engineering designs are met. That's when I started doing gardening. Because see, today when I do a good job in the factory, the workers are not happy, the government is not happy, nobody is happy, everybody is very sad that I'm done a good job. But when you have your flowers in the garden, plants in the garden, you take care of it, next day you see the flowers coming. There is appreciation by the plants of the effort put in by you. So this was one way of getting satisfied. Then I felt that I had a lot of knowledge in certain. That's when I started teaching. I started teaching. Even today, I love traveling. So and my wife also, fortunately, she also loves traveling. We keep traveling a lot. Keep traveling a lot. You would have noticed I was finding it difficult to get down the steps because both my knees I had prevented knee replacement operation. So for about 5 months I was stuck with the bed. As a compensation, I've been again traveling after that. I'm just telling you, as a matter of fact, in the last 14 months, I spent about 2 trips to London, that's 45 days. Then I made a trip to Ajanta Ellora Caves. Then I made a trip to Puri and Konark Temple. Then I made a trip to Rajasthan. I landed in Udaipur, went to Jodhpur, and then went to Jaipur and came back. And then just 2 weeks back, I went to Varanasi, Kashi Vishwanath Temple. And then, of course, the Modi edifice called Ayodhya. Then came to Lucknow, and I come back. Next month, I'm going to Vietnam, followed by another 3 days in Calcutta. So, why I'm telling you this is, I'm just living my dream. But this leg is I'm still not fully right. I can't take that long step, I can take a minor step. But then I'm not allowed to constrain my activities. In fact, I had to go out because we had a large screen. So the doctor told me that you have to go for the operation. I said, go out and I'm going to go out. I'll come back next day we have the operation. Because I didn't want to miss the goal. So all this comes from an attitude and deciding your priorities. So you ask me, entrepreneurship, these are the pleasures in life. Any more questions?
How important is finance? Is knowing about finance in entrepreneurship or engineering to create?
See, when you run an industry, everything is important. You have to manage your workers, which means HR is important. You have to ensure quality of your product, which means operations, or your operations business must be good. Then you need to market your product. The product may be good, but does it reach the market? Do you get brand value out of it? That is important. Then finance is also important. You have to make sure that the costs are within the parameters that you fix. So all these, it's a totality which you have to manage. See, you're good in finance, you're good in this one, but you can't market your product, your company will be failure. You're good in everything, but you can't manage your finance, the company will be failure. And what are the challenges you're going to face? I don't know. Even now, if you ask me, so what will be the challenges that you will face in this? I'll say I don't know. Because what tomorrow comes, you don't know. But you have a mindset. The thought process wherein you say, I can find a solution and I cannot be lax in it. Then you will find that you do come up with solutions. So everything is important. Managing your people, managing your operations, managing your marketing, managing finance, and managing the environment too. Any further questions?
Sir, question from my student. Actually, you want to do the BTech in humanities or IITs, but unfortunately came to GEC for studying production engineering. Under doubt production engineering, purchasing opportunities.
What is his passion? What did he want to do earlier?
You can share your passion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm more into entrepreneurship and management.
Are you willing to start it?
Yeah, I'm willing to start my own startup from.
Don't get into the dream part. Go to the reality part.
Yeah, I'm actually on it. I'm working on my new startup venture. I'm planning to start for a second company.
Forget about that you're in
Yeah.
production engineering and anything. Concentrate on the startup. Make sure that it becomes a
Yeah,
success.
currently I have a manufacturing unit and I'm willing to start selling it by the end of the.
No, see, willing to start is not starting. Start. Face the music. If you fail, be happy if you got the experience. If you don't, if you can take it forward, no problem. As I said, your BTech is of no use. But also, it gives you good exposure. It gives you just the base. Some people think the solution lies in the moment you do your mechanical engineering, immediately you get a job in mechanical engineering and then you will flourish there. You have to go there to come. I was telling you about my IIT batchmates, it's how some are in education, some are in NGOs, some are in finance, some are in teaching in universities. It's all diverse professions. I started an industry in Kerala. Even now, my classmates ask me, Alex, how do you manage? In hello. I said, I think.
Political life. Political life.
You have to manage. You have to know when to strike. You have to know when to say stop. Then again, you have to be fair. See, if you have made money, your employees also should get some. But where to put your foot down, you put your foot down. See, this is learning. You understand your environment, you understand what are the constraints, like you know which are the unions there, how to utilize the unions to get things done. Give you one example of union this.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, okay.
കേരളത്തിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ പൊതുവെ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസ് ഒക്കെ അന്വേഷിച്ച് പോകുന്നത് പൊതുവെ അധികം ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ജോബ്സ് നോക്കുന്നവര് അധികം പുറത്തോട്ടാണ് പോകുന്നത് ഫോറിൻ കൺട്രീസ്. കേരളത്തിൽ എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രികളിൽ ഒരു കുറവ് എന്താണ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയിൽ?
Mindset is a problem of mindset. We actually, I'll be very frank with you. The problem with Kerala is the crunch psychology. And basically Kerala are good, capable. So once they go outside Kerala, they do well. They do very well. In fact, if you go to you'll get a job immediately as compared to any other community because they know you will be good at it. But in Kerala, the moment you see this, so that is the problem. So again, there is a lot of, if many of you are not getting the right opportunities, the lot of problem with the society and the thought process. The most important thing is that you should be happy at the neighbor's progress, because only then you will get benefit. One of the early lessons which was taught to me by my mother, who was taught by somebody else, he says, always wish that the neighbor has 2 cars. So that when your car is not in the workshop, you can get 1 car for using. Then you can just lend me a car for you. If you have no cars, he will definitely be a best of you. So wish that your neighbor has 2 cars, so that in an emergency you can get 1 car free. The difference between a Punjabi and a Kerala is, a Punjabi sees somebody, he has got a Alto car. How did he manage? He will find out how he has got the car and try to buy a steam or France or something. Kerala is he should come down to a level where he starts walking again like him. Again, mindset problem. So you have to promote growth. One day, a train was introduced from Bangalore to MIT. Nobody should get the credit for it, so all the political parties work together so that nobody gets the credit for it, and this train now runs from Madurai to Bangalore. You have lost that. You take anywhere, we go to a position where we don't get the benefit. Center has umpteen number of funds to give. But then we fight it easier to ensure that central funds don't come. So that nobody gets the credit. No political fund should get the credit. But take Tamil Nadu. DMK and AIDMK are always fighting with each other at each other's throats. In fact, LDF and UDF relationship is much better. But when it comes to Tamil Nadu, they will say, nothing doing, you won't touch us. There was Palghat division, railway division, which consists of Salem and all other parts also. So it was one of the biggest divisions in the southern railway. Now, the central government came with a proposal, cut the Palghat division, create a new Salem division, so that the Tamilians are not under the Madras. And we immediately said we want the random division. But we are not under the random division. But they said the Palghat division into Salem and Palghat. So now Palghat is just a small division. Again, our inability to cooperate with each other for common goal. See, this person is an expert in something. Today I got a goodwill with him. If he becomes if he gets the Nobel Prize, I can always say that I am his good friend, and he will definitely respond positively. So that's it. And then any more questions? See, I don't find any questions coming from the students. See, you should be. These are opportunities for you to explore yourself. Then I want to just 1 minute. What you need is the width and the depth of the mind. You should have the width to accept all sorts of thoughts into the mind. And you should also have the depth to understand what these thoughts are. Now your question.
Sir, I would like to ask, what was your greatest motivation for your journey, for the successful journey? And what would be that one?
First part I will not hear. What was your?
What was your greatest motivation throughout this journey?
Latest motivation.
Yeah.
Greatest motivation. See, it is my motivation was to live my life according to my rules. That is how I become an entrepreneur. I didn't want to be working with somebody else. Because for me, expression of yourself. Now, for example, I can go to the ground and for 10 rupees I can get a beautiful coat, which is perfect. Created in Bangalore. Whereas you plant a rose tree or rose plant, seeing grow, and when the first flower comes, you will announce to the whole world that look here, the first flower has come. The power of creation, the power of being independent, is also the part of great motivation. And you have to see again, this is where you have to understand yourself. What drives you? For some people it is art which drives them. Some people it is technology which drives them. Some people it is the ability to be free to do whatever they want. They will be walking around like nomads. But that's it really not. So you have to understand yourself what motivates you and then pursue the dream so that that will become your motivation. I hope I answered your question. The next question. Yeah.
So, for person trying to get into an IIM, how much is work experience beneficial?
See, as far as IIMs are concerned, it is more the CAT score which is important. Whereas if you're looking for foreign universities, you need to have work experience. In fact, there is a very wrong notion that universities like Harvard and MIT and all the top US and UK universities, that your CAT, the GMAT scores are important. They look only for cutoff points for GMAT. You have your career objectives as well as SOP, what we call statement of purpose. This is very, very important in foreign universities, not IIMs. In foreign universities, what they look for is, in fact, our professor, the tenured professor is my classmate. So I asked him when he came to my doctor's, younger doctor's admission, what should I do? So he told me what matters today, what they look for is the statement of purpose and its relevance to society. If the topic which the student is planning to work on is of relevance to the country which he is coming from, they will give him admission rather than giving admission to a person with a bigger GMAT score. They also say that, does he have a focus? Is he moving in the right direction, in one particular direction? And these things matter. The statement of purpose and the career objectives are very important consideration for MBA admissions in US and UK, but not a big consideration for IIMs. IIMs more strongly dependent on the CAT scores, which is unfortunate. Any more questions?
So you are told that you are graduated in chemical engineer, but you are disciplined under different streams.
Yeah.
But is there only possible way to set the skill only through integrated learning or interdisciplinary learning? No other ways to set the skill for future?
See, today, can you tell me one work which is solitary in nature, which is not interdisciplinary?
So there are many skills and arts that can be focused on individually, not that integrated learning. Which can be successful.
See, it's part of an integrated world. If you want to do well in arts, you want to paint well, you must know what is the technology available today for painting. What are the kind of paints which are available? What are the kind of boards which are available? What are the kind of so that means that becomes integrated. You say I'll draw, then no. You need to know what boards to use, what paint to use, what are the different kinds of paints together, what are the different textures of paint available. So all those things you have to learn. So that's why I said you need to build up your mind. If you want to pursue something, you cannot focus on just one thing. You have to focus on one thing, yes, and periphery also. So you have to develop the skill sets of the periphery also, so that this particular skill can be developed to higher levels. And standards you set. What's the kind of standards you set? Today, if you look at what is happening in the world today, it's amazing. I can't think of anything. Just one example, this about 2 months back I went for a concert in London. It is known as ABBA the Voyage. I heard of ABBA? The musical group? No. Okay. It's a group of the 50s or the 60s and 70s, which was famous all over the world. And I was in your age, I was a great fan of ABBA. And it's still supposed to be one of the most powerful groups ever. So they have created, it's a concert which is, you can call it, but it's virtual. They have created a building, old building, just for this concert. Just for this concert. And in the center stage, you have a virtual projection of the artist performing. So you are actually seeing the artist performing in the dresses which they wore in those days. And it's all virtual. They also have a bigger stage where they have some live performance also. This whole stadium, or building is built just for this concert. So you have LED lights all over from this end all right up to this end. Sound system which is completely surrounded all over. Full surround sound. Then they have lights from ceiling, lots of lights coming, creating different kinds of movement. So you know the integration involved. Just think of the kind of integration. The sound, the lights, the visual images, on the LED screens, then the actual performance. All these things should be integrated together, and this whole room or this whole hall is designed just for that. See how much of integration is taking place. Then you need to know the music, so that that particular music can be enhanced. So your sound system, the kind of sound you do, the kind of variations you create in various, like bass tone and all those things. I went and sat there and I said, my goodness, what is this? What is this? So I started with, so I thought, this is going to be a great experience. And I had high expectations. The music, the concert started. After 15 to 10 minutes, I was asking, am I on planet Earth or am I on somewhere else? Because it was unbelievable. I cannot have visualized or envisaged such an event. This is the way the world has changed. See, you don't need to go to a stadium and have the live performance. You can have live performance right there. And look at the kind of economics you're talking about. One ticket was 150 pounds. And this has a capacity of about 4,000 people. So you're talking about 6 crores in a day. Your expense. See, these are all repetitive expenses. So I think you should be making total expenses, including the cost of construction of the building, all these things. Together will be about 2 crores. So they're making about 4 crores in each event. And today, it's going on for the last 2 years. But now they are having 3 shows a week. So you're talking of 450, 12 crores into 50 weeks, 12 months. You're talking of about 500, 600 crores of profit on this project. Can you dream of it? The answer is you need to. So what is that? The kind of opportunities is that. And even today, I can't believe that I was really on planet Earth. So I told my children that next visit, if ABBA is still on, you better book me earlier so that I don't have to pay 200 pounds or 300 pounds for a ticket. I should get it below 100. I hope I'm conveying to you how the world has changed. How certain things which are told to be impossible, it's become possible. And technology, everything is changing so fast. See, there was a time when I used to go from here to Netherlands by car. Some people, when you reach that Calcutta area, why? They want the people to know that I have a cell phone with me. Because he has made it so rich in life that he has a cell phone. And people like me knew that there was no coverage between Calcutta and Palari. So this fellow just wants to show to the whole world, I have made it big and I have it. Today your servant has two cell phones. And she said, "E number will be E number will be." See the change that has come to the world. The change that has come to the world. So what will happen tomorrow? You know, my first sentence was, what will happen tomorrow? I don't know. What skill set to have? I don't know. You have to develop yourself, you have to evolve yourself, and you have to create your own world. Any more questions? Again.
So, this is a personal view. I got graduated by the end of 2020, and for past 3 years I was working in a finance company. And as a part of my job, I had get an opportunity to work with CA performance, CMA, and MBA graduates. But by analyzing the company, there was a 4% attrition rate. And when we deeper analyze that, the professionals who has or their graduation from engineering sectors are leaving the company by 3 years. So from there, I got an experience that there is no much opportunity in a finance institution for the engineering professionals, none other than the IT field. I got such an experience, and or other people are searching for other opportunities only. Is it similar in all the financial institutions or finance sector? Is it similar? Because there is only limited possibilities.
People ask,
yeah.
I got your question. People ask, if you look at the RBI governance, most of them are and it is Vigram Margin Noise. What does engineering got to do with reserve bank? Because that's the reserve bank. So you're feeling that, if you look at CEOs of most banks are engineers. Because it's not because engineering teaches you that. Generally, engineering is all about logical thinking and quantitative ability. I make my big money in stocks. Why? Because of my logical ability, thinking of logical tendency. So your skill sets as an engineer will definitely help you. That's all. Second thing is, don't get constrained by anyone. There is no rule that you should work for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. When a good opportunity comes, go and grab it. But that doesn't mean you should be a rolling stone which gathers no moss. You should develop skill sets with each step that you take. Don't get stuck anywhere. Don't get the feeling that just because I failed here, again, next is, just because I failed here doesn't mean there is no others. See, there are people who have taken mid-career changes in life, where they completely give up whatever they're doing and then going on to new things. So, again, this is the advantage in today in the coming world. Is that there's no constraints on it. There is nothing which says that you should do only this or only that or this. And the kind of permutations and combination of jobs which is available is phenomenally different. There is a leading architect in London, the best buildings in the world, designed in London. There is a leading architect in London who has specialized only in signages. That is science. Just signages. And she does the signages for the best buildings in India. Happens to be my daughter's good friend. So I met her this when I was there last time. Listen, Just signages. He said, yes, only signages. What font to use, how many signages to have, where to have it, what font to use, and what is the type of material to be used, what's the kind of writing to be done for the signs, not anything else. Not anything else. See the depth of specialization, the level of excellence. And you know, there is, in Saudi Arabia, there is a big building which is coming up, a big complex which is coming up. And she is doing the signages. Anywhere in the world, normally, any of the persons looking for good signages, they come here. Could you have think of a possibility like that? Absolutely not. Could you think of a possibility like that? But that's kind of specialization and the opportunity is available. So you may be a mechanical engineer who is passed out of Thrissur Engineering College. If you can become an expert in just plants which can be put up in buildings, which can create more oxygen in the air, you will be well restricted. In fact, in some of the buildings that my daughter does, for them, you know, this biodiversity is a very important factor to get, you know, what we call this ratings of being environment friendly. So, you know, they need to have plants in the building itself. So, they call me a specialist in that field. When they design the building, they say, please come, let us know, this is what we want, this is the kind of certification we want. So, tell us what we have. So, as I said, develop the myth in your mind. And second thing is, just because you have not done for the last, for the last 4 years, doesn't mean you are not going to do well throughout your life. Life is a great journey, lot of opportunities, lots of ups, lots of downs, but then take it forward in the way you can. Any further questions? I'm free. Yeah, I just have to have my dinner and lunch, which normally I have around 1:32. Yesterday I had at 3:30 because I was doing I started vegetable garden. So I made the plots. So I have already finished it. Because once I wash up and we come up, then it's the rest for the rest of the day. So I found that, you know, I was almost finished it. So my dad will, you know, stand down and finish it. So I had my lunch and we do the day. Anyway, next question. So I'm free. Yeah. Ladies, then I find very interesting questions from ladies. What I have to tell you, ladies, is that, you know, today, in today's world, the men are fairly useless. The women are doing extremely well because they're very good at multitasking. They're very good at multitasking. And they have the psychological ability to browbeat the men. You see, men try to use the physical force, which does not work in today's world. You have to use psychological force, and these women are very good in psychological property. And also, the days when, you know, she's a woman, she cannot be given a position, those days are gone. Those days are gone. People want women who are really good, who are professional, and they are willing to give the opportunities. So women, don't take anything at the lower level, take it at the highest level. You deserve it, you will get it if you want it. If you want it. Next question. You can ask, feel free to ask. As I said, this is a problem with Kerala students. Kerala people also. See, if you have an expert right in front of you, you go and take your help from him. And someday you will be good in something. Now, this is the first time I am trying vegetable gardening. So, I asked all my neighbor ladies, what do you do, how you do it, how do you sell. Because I don't know. I specialize in lawn and the ornamental plants. Because many of the ladies have been doing it for many years. So they know what will grow here, what won't grow here. So again, you have to utilize the talent which is around you. Be humble, go and ask. Our problem is ego. Oh, I have to wait and Pardon. So let me have 2-3 more questions. And then, yeah, it's already 1 o'clock. And again, Kerala is dominated by the time and the watch. 4:30, all offices must be cleaned up. 5 o'clock, there must not be a single soul around. So it's 1 o'clock, time for lunch. So let me have 2 more questions. And I will stop. If you get the questions fast, I can also finish the lecture fast. I see some people getting a bit restive. They want to post it and fast it fast. The choice is yours. I don't want to post questions. As I said, time is more important than knowledge. So let's find out. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My basic principle is that I never say no to students. Any student calls me anywhere, I go. I don't expect any remuneration because I have enough. And then I'm accustomed to getting big sums when I go for board meetings and things like that. So as a general rule, I never say no to any student or any organization which conducts a program without remuneration. That is when they come, just like here, many of the organizations who do it for public good. I always go there without imposing any condition. So thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable words. Now, I would like to invite our lab in charge, Professor Alumnus, for sharing the vote of thanks.
സാറിന്റെ സ്പീച്ച് കേട്ട് നമ്മളെല്ലാം വളരെയധികം എൻലൈറ്റ് ആയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. നമുക്ക് വളരെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട സ്പീച്ച്, വളരെ സിമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് സ്പീച്ച്, ഭയങ്കര ഹൈ ആയിട്ട് വേർഡ്സോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും ആയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല സ്പീച്ചിൽ. വളരെ സിമ്പിൾ ആയിരുന്നു, വളരെ നല്ലൊരു സ്പീച്ച് ആയിരുന്നു സാറിന്. അതുപോലെ സാറിന്റെ സ്പീച്ചിൽ എനിക്കും എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന 2 കാര്യം എനിക്ക് ഫീൽ ചെയ്തു. എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ സാറിന്റെ സ്പീച്ചിൽ ഞാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം രത്നക്കാരുടെ ഒരു ചെറിയ കോഴ്സ് ഞാൻ വായിച്ചായിരുന്നു. സെയിം സംഭവം സിമിലർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള സാധനം തന്നെ സാറിന് പറഞ്ഞു. രത്നക്കാരുടെ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇറങ്ങിയ കോഴ്സ് വായിച്ച സമയത്ത് ഒരു ഫേമസ് കോട്ടായിരുന്നു, അതായത് ഡൂയിങ് ദ ഇമ്പോസിബിൾ. അതായത് നമ്മളോട് ഒരാൾ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല, എനിക്കിത് പറ്റില്ല, എനിക്ക് ഈ സ്കില്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ, എന്നെ കൊണ്ട് ഇത് നടക്കില്ല, അതായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അതായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അതൊരിക്കലും മോശം കാര്യമായിരിക്കരുത്, നല്ല കാര്യമായിരിക്കും. അത് നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം. നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കാര്യം സൊസൈറ്റിക്ക് ഗുഡാണ്, സൊസൈറ്റിക്ക് അത് ബെനിഫിഷ്യൽ ആണെന്നുള്ള കാര്യം നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം. അത് നമ്മൾ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യണം. അത് നമ്മൾ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് 2 രീതിയിലാണ് എൻ്റെ അഭിപ്രായത്തിൽ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക. ഒന്ന് നമ്മുടെ പാസ്റ്റ് ലൈഫ് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആയിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് നല്ലൊരു മെന്റർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കണം. ഇത് രണ്ടും നമ്മൾ എൻഷുർ ചെയ്യണം. സോ നമ്മുടെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ വളരെ നല്ലോണം സൊസൈറ്റിക്ക് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കണം എന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ. അത് സാറിന്റെ സ്പീച്ചിൽ ഞാൻ അത് കേട്ടു. സെക്കൻഡ് കാര്യം, ഞാൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന സാറിന്റെ സെക്കൻഡ് റൂൾ, ലിവിങ് ഓൺ മൈ ഓൺ റൂൾസ്. ഞാൻ അധികം എൻ്റെ കാര്യം ഞാൻ അഭിപ്രായം ചോദിച്ചു, ഉറപ്പായിട്ട് അഭിപ്രായം ചോദിച്ചിട്ടാണ് കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യാൻ. പക്ഷെ അതിൽ ഞാൻ ഓൺ റൂൾസ് എപ്പോഴും ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. അതും സാറിന്റെ വീട്ടിൽ വളരെ നല്ലൊരു സ്പീച്ച് ആയിരുന്നു. സാറിന്റെ ഇനിയും ഞാൻ സാറിന്റെ സെഷൻസ് ഇവിടെ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന്, എല്ലാ PG സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനും, മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എല്ലാ PG സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനും സാറ് നല്ല ജോബ് ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത് ഞാൻ എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. സാറിന്റെ ഇതിലുള്ള ഗൈഡൻസ് ജോബ് ഫീൽഡിൽ ഞാൻ സാറിന്റെ കാര്യം എക്സ്പെക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ആൻഡ് ലാസ്റ്റ്ലി, താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sajid Babu sir for sharing the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon. സാറ് കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളോട് ഷെയർ ചെയ്തു. അതിൽ തന്നെ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ IIT സാർ 78-ലാണ് IIT കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്. I just completed in 2006. Same word we were used in IIT. എപ്പോഴും പറയുന്ന കേസാണ് പണ്ടാസ് ഓർഗനൈസ്. അത് അന്നും അവർ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ഇന്നും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട് പണ്ടാസ് ഓർഗനൈസ്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ ഫണ്ടമെന്റൽസ് സ്ട്രോങ് ആക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ഒരുവിധം എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും നമുക്ക് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. പിന്നെ TMA ആക്ച്വലി കോർഡിനേറ്റർ ഓഫ് ദി സ്റ്റുഡന്റ് ചാപ്റ്റർ TMA. On behalf of TMA, I would like to express my sincere thanks to sir for giving a inspiration and motivation to us. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് സാറിനെ വിളിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ HOD പറഞ്ഞൊരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. HOD പറഞ്ഞ് ഞാൻ സാറാണ് നമ്മുടെ ചീഫ് ഗസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് നമ്മുടെ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞു. ഓക്കെ, he will be the right person for inaugurating our IIT. Now we are very scratch. ഈ ഒരു ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ 3 അവറിൽ കൂടുതലായി സാറോട് 9:55 എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ തൊട്ട് നമ്മളോട് ഇന്ററാക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ടൈം ഇസ് മണി ആൻഡ് ടൈം ഇസ് എവറിത്തിങ്. ഈ spend this valuable time with us. For that also thank you, sir. And again, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയാം നമ്മുടെ കോളേജിൽ ഫെർട്ടിലൈസിംഗ് ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ഇന്ററാക്ഷൻ സെന്റർ ഉണ്ട്, ഐഡിയേറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, അതേപോലെ പ്ലേസ്മെന്റ് സെന്റർ ഉണ്ട്, അഗെയിൻ IIDC ഇന്നോവേഷൻ ആൻഡ് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ക്ലബ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒക്കെ ഒരു ബ്രിഡ്ജായിട്ട് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും TMA ആക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും എന്നാണ് ഞാൻ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഇനിയും in future also we will conduct some more programs in future. പിന്നെ സാറ് കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളോട് ഷെയർ ചെയ്തു. എല്ലാം ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡാണ്. ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ഇസ് എവരിതിങ്. ആൻഡ് അഗെയിൻ ഹൗ യു വിൽ സെറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ്. അത് പറഞ്ഞു, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് ആണ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. ഒന്ന് മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ്, നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ ഈസ് ഹാർഡ് വർക്കിംഗ് ആൻഡ് അഗെയിൻ അക്വയർ നോളജ് കണ്ടിന്യൂസ്ലി. പിന്നെ ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടി പറഞ്ഞത്, ലാസ്റ്റ് ഒരു കാര്യം സാർ പറഞ്ഞു, ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക് ഈസ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. കാരണം ടാലൻറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ഓൺ പേഴ്സൺസ് ടു പേഴ്സൺ. ബട്ട് സ്കിൽ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഹൗ വി ക്യാൻ ഇംപ്രൂവ് അവർ സ്കിൽസ്. വി വിൽ ഇംപ്രൂവ് അവർ സ്കിൽസ് ത്രൂ ഹാർഡ് വർക്കിംഗ് മണി. അതാണ് നേരത്തെ സാർ പറഞ്ഞൊരു കാര്യം. പുലി ചിലപ്പോൾ നാളെ തൃശ്ശൂരിലെ പുലിയാവും, പക്ഷേ മണ്ടൻ ചിലപ്പോൾ നാളത്തെ IAS കാരനോ എവിടെ ആണെങ്കിലും എത്താം. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഡൂയിങ് ഓൾ ദീസ് പോസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് അല്ലേ. നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ്, നമ്മുടെ ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ്, നമ്മുടെ നോളജ് അക്വയർമെന്റ് ലെവൽ ആൻഡ് അഗെയിൻ ദിസ് ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്തരം കാര്യങ്ങൾ എല്ലാവർക്കും ജീവിതത്തിൽ വളർത്തി നമുക്ക് നല്ല സക്സസ് ഉണ്ടാവാൻ കഴിയട്ടെ എന്ന് ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു, പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നു, ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. തീർച്ചയായും on behalf of our TMA and again on behalf of Mechanical Engineering Department, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you, sir, for spending this much of time with us. Thank you. Thank you once again.
നമ്മുടെ പ്രോഗ്രാം ഏകദേശം വൈകിട്ടായി. ഇനി നമ്മുടെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന്റെ ഭാഗത്തു നിന്ന് ആരെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് ഇത്രയും നല്ലൊരു സെഷൻ സംഘടിപ്പിച്ചു തന്ന നമ്മുടെ ചീഫ് ഗസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള അലക്സ് സാറിന് നന്ദി സൂചകമായിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒപ്പീനിയൻ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് എന്ന രീതിയിൽ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾക്കൊന്ന് പറയാം. ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾ.
നല്ലൊരു സെക്ഷനായിരുന്നു. കറണ്ട് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി മറ്റു കാര്യങ്ങളും പിന്നെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് വേണ്ട സ്കില്ലും മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റിനെ കുറിച്ചും പറഞ്ഞ സാറിന് വളരെ നന്ദി. പിന്നെ നല്ലൊരു സെക്ഷനായിരുന്നു. അതുപോലെ നമ്മുടെ ലാബ് ഒരു ആഗ്രഹമായിരുന്നു ഈ ലാബ്, അതും സാധിച്ചെടുത്തു. അതിന് നന്ദി.
ജനറലായിട്ട് പറയാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുകയാണ്. പൊതുവെ ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ സർവീസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തത്. അതായത് കുറച്ച് ടോപ്പിക്സ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആണെങ്കിലും അത് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്ത് തരാൻ സാറിനെ കൊണ്ട് പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇന്ററാക്റ്റീവ് ആയിരുന്നു. നമുക്ക് ഈ ഒരു ഫീലിംഗ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല. പ്രസന്റേഷൻസ് ആ ഒരു സെമിനാറിനുള്ള ഒരു രീതിക്ക് ആയിരുന്നില്ല സാറിൻ്റെ ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ. പിന്നെ വാല്യൂബിൾ ആയിരുന്നു. ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായിരുന്നു. ക്ലാസ് ലാംഗ്വേജ് ചൂസ് ചെയ്ത് ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഭയങ്കര